All right, everybody. Welcome back to the Hometown Huddle podcast. This is actually our second night in a row recording. We had some technical difficulties yesterday. We actually recorded like a really good, we didn't record, I should say. We had a really good practice episode, but it didn't record. It was awesome. So we have a couple guests with us here. We have Grant and Farrah Wardenaar. Just a little introduction of them. So Farrah is our head coach for our girls basketball team. She played basketball in Royal in high school and played a year of college basketball at CBC, and this is her second year as the Knights head coach. Tomorrow is the regular season finale, which is pretty exciting, and then on to districts. And then Grant is her oldest son, and he is a sophomore and is kind of the, I don't know, team leader. He leads in a lot of the statistical categories, definitely a star for the boys team, who is finishing up tomorrow probably their best regular season ever that we kind of have on record, and then also on to districts. And so some high hopes, but we appreciate you guys coming on again for the second night and being patient with our mistakes. We're kind of novice podcasters. But we really appreciate you guys coming on. So
no, of course we're happy to do it. I brought special guests Lauren and Wade tonight.
Okay, perfect. That is good. Dad, I don't know if you can kind of mute and unmute because you're in the car. There we go. So we're getting a lot of awesome. So we got Lauren and Wade tonight. So kind of Farrah and Grant, kind of go through your family. Tell us about everybody.
So Jake and I have Grant. He's our oldest. He's 16, and Lauren is the middle child. She's 14. She's in 8th grade. And then Wade is the baby, and he's 10, and he's in 4th grade.
All right. See, I asked, so Lauren has been in my classes for a couple of years now because I teach at the middle school. She's actually, I don't know if she's told you, she's an experienced podcaster. We have a podcast studio at the school that we have set up. So her and her friends, I haven't listened to it. They've recorded a couple. And then they were talking about Wade, and I was like, is Wade in 6th grade? They're like, no, he's in 4th grade. I'm like, dang, that kid, he is a big kid. So we're happy to have you guys on here, have the whole family. I guess Jake, maybe if he has a chance to jump on, maybe. But yeah, this is awesome. We got some experience here. So let's see. So I got to go back to my notes. So we had a bunch of stuff yesterday that we talked about, but I want to jump into a few things here. So I guess first, Farrah, question for you. Yesterday we talked about kind of some past experiences and how, you had coached a little bit, coached little kids. You'd coached with Maria Leffler, who was your high school coach. But then once Grant was in high school, you said it was a little easier to kind of jump into that high school coaching job because you could go see his games. But my question is, so coaching at the high school level, is that something that you have wanted to do for a long time, or is it something you've considered more in recent years? What's kind of been your coaching journey up to this point?
It has. It's been something I've wanted to do for a while. I actually was hired to be the girls' coach in 2007, and then I had Grant. And Rick Follett was like, what are you going to do with that baby? And I was like, well, I was going to take him with me. And he's like, yeah, you can't take your baby on the bus. And so I was like, well, I guess find somebody else. Okay. So, it was probably a good thing, Carter, when you have your first kid, you think you're going to do all these things, and then you're not.
Yeah, exactly right. No, that is very true. It's cool that it's kind of come full circle now, right? So that was, going to be your first year coaching, but now you're here with Grant as I almost said full grown man. That is not true at all. He is a little boy. True. Yeah. Still, but yeah, he can dunk like a full grown man. That's what's crazy. So what? I don't know what I want to ask you. What was that? I don't know. We'll go to something else there. I was going to ask you about kid stuff, but my brain's all over the place. So I'm going to stick to my notes. I just, just having had a baby, you just love to hear about, people's experiences and different things. And I don't think people tuned in to hear us talk about babies necessarily. This isn't the baby podcast, but, yeah, that's awesome. So that you've wanted to do this for a long time. What was the process like? Was it a tough decision to jump into being the head coach last year? I know you'd kind of mentioned maybe even the year before wanting to do it because Wayne Allred did it for a year. Have you kind of been chomping at the bit to get going with this coaching, or is it something that just you're kind of like, hey, now it's time?
It's something I've thought about a lot on and off over the years. Just because basketball was such an important part of my life growing up, and the girls basketball program at Royal is kind of near and dear to my heart. And I wanted to, be a part of it and make it better. And so it was just kind of finding out the right time in my life. And I decided I wanted to do it. And so then I had to convince Jake.
Yeah.
Was a good idea because he was, because our kids play quite a bit of AAU, like Lauren's traveling, Wade's traveling. And so he has to really figure out how to get everybody everywhere. So he was on board with it, and it's been really fun. I'm really glad I did it. I think I heard you guys talking, our College Place game got canceled today. So we had a really fun practice and a pizza party with the girls because our JV got canceled, and so their season's over.
Oh wow, okay.
And so it felt like a weird ending just to end on a canceled game. So it just, I don't know. You leave the gym tonight, and everybody had a great time, and they're such good kids. It makes me happy I did it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely. There's kind of nothing like that experience. I think. And we kind of touched on this yesterday when we asked, I think Grant mentioned kind of going out to eat at McDonald's after the game, even after a home game. Hey, let's drive to Othello. But it's kind of those little moments, I feel like, that are the most memorable, the things that you miss the most about sports. I think for me, that's been one of the most fun things of getting back into coaching are those things, is having fun at practice and the dumb, halftime talks we have at Prosser when we're up 50 points and just different things and stuff like that. But that's awesome. That's a tough thing for the JV. I didn't think about that of like, it's your last game and that doesn't get rescheduled. They're just like, you're done, huh?
Yeah, you're over. Next week, that's the end.
Yeah, that's done. Wow, that is crazy. Does it feel like the regular season has gone by fast? I guess for both of you, or has it been kind of a grind?
Yeah, I would say the regular season has gone by pretty quick for me. I mean, I kind of go into every season like expecting it's gonna like last like a while, but then like once you're actually like getting through it, and now I'm really realizing like I've one season or one game left of regular season my sophomore year. It's kind of crazy to think about.
Yeah. Yeah, like and then that's your kind of halfway point, right, of your high school career. Mm-hmm. Like that goes by in a flash, which is so crazy. Yeah. It's basketball. I always felt like it was kind of that mix of both. Like it felt like it was really long because there was so much packed into it, but it's a short season. Like once you start games, you're really only kind of going for a couple months. But it's a lot. And so, I mean, that's another thing. Again, we appreciate and thank you guys for coming on because just the grind of the basketball season, you're playing, 2 to 3 games a week, every week, usually Fridays and Saturdays. So weekends plus alternating practices and then plus, the whole family being heavily involved in basketball. It's quite the thing. Let's hear from, so maybe a question for Lauren here. So Lauren, how do you feel? Are you excited about your mom being your coach in high school?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. Like it's kind of different though, having like a parent coach. Mm-hmm. We fight a lot.
Yeah.
So, like I practice at her practices and it's still, so I feel like it's kind of going to be a different experience with my coach.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you kind of get a little bit of a different sort of feel with it. But that is exciting. So, Lauren, you guys right now, you're kind of in the middle of the middle school basketball season. How's that been going for you guys so far?
Been going good. Did a lot of competition though. Like been beating the teams we've been.
Sorry, it cut out for a second. You say that again?
We've been don't get a lot of competition, and we've been beating all the teams by quite a bit.
Yeah. Okay. So kind of similar to Grant's middle school years, where it was sort of. I don't know if it's like for you guys now, but we would walk into the gym, like when Chase and I were coaching Grant's age, and we're like, are we going to get anybody like competitive?
Yeah.
Like the people come out and you're like, they're not right-handed or left-handed. Like, I don't know if they have a dominant hand. Which I don't know. You can't. Yeah. Which way do you force them to go? They're bad either way. So that's awesome. And then and so are you also in AAU season right now? Does that go at the same time? Okay. So what's that schedule like for you? And I guess Wade, same for you. How many games like are you playing a week? Are you practicing with this team regularly during the week? What's that like?
Usually with my team, we don't practice as much. We like one time a week, sometimes on Tuesdays, and then we'll practice like on the weekend. We don't have games. Okay. And then the tournaments, usually we're getting like 4 to 5 games.
Okay. And is that in a single day or is it spaced out over a couple days?
So in like one day, we'll get 2 games in.
Okay, nice. Kind of do it over a couple. And Wade, is that the same for you?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Now, Wade, how would you compare your game with Grant's?
Oh, good question. Good question.
I'm a better shooter.
Oh, there we go.
That is preposterous that you just said that.
So go ahead, Wade. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you. Go ahead. Keep talking.
Better score maker.
There we go.
You know, Wade of 3 children does not lack confidence.
That is
for whatever that's worth.
Kind of similar in our family. That third child, that was Corbin. You couldn't shake him. Mm-hmm. Now, Wade, defensively, you talked all about offense here. How's the defense looking?
It's looking good.
Because Grant the other night against Kai B got matched up a few times on the GOAT, Spencer Hansen. And Spencer Hansen's head was spinning. I felt like when Grant was on him, it was it was good to see. So I hope, Wade, you're following in his footsteps there.
Yeah.
That was good. You're trying to. You got to do both, right? Offense and defense.
There we go. Yeah, lock it down. So maybe a question for all the kids here, Grant, in this. What's the competition like? Do you guys get pretty competitive amongst yourselves there at home? Is there a lot of, I don't want to say fighting necessarily, but what's the dynamic like between you guys?
Well, I would say that it gets sometimes competitive, but like I would say the age gap, like it's like different skill levels, I would say, because the age gap, like because me and Wade were pretty far apart, but he tries to get competitive with me, but I kind of got to show him who's top dog a little bit.
That's good. Yeah. Do you take it easy on him ever?
No.
Okay, good. That is what we want to hear. So I'm the oldest sibling. I always want to make sure if you're the oldest sibling, don't take it easy on him. Now, Grant, I don't want to get you down here, but the reason why I say that is because my younger siblings are now all about 4 to 5 inches taller than me, and they can all dunk or play college sports. It's tough, and I have to go out there and beat him at golf. That's what I still have for right now. Try as Corbin might to beat me. I think he got me once, but definitely don't take it easy on these kids while you have the chance. Is all I'm saying.
They probably have you to thank for their success, Carter.
I hope. I mean, I
did when they were young.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it, but I think it might be true. I mean, we used to. I'll tell you today, kind of embarrassing story, but we used to lower the hoop, right, the basketball hoop, and have like dunk ball, and I would just prime Shaq on these kids. It was bad. And now we have to play on a 10-foot hoop because if you're grown adult men playing on an 8-foot hoop, it's bad. And I'm getting dunked on and 3 corners in my face. It's bad. But today at lunch at the school, I forgot my lunch, so I went down and I got like a hot dog at Spud's. And I was coming back in, and the boys, they have the nice hoops outside the middle school, and they lowered them down, and they were like, "All right, Mr. Christensen, here we go." And
Yeah.
And Mason Meesberg, grown man, 8th grade Mason. I was like, dude, when did you get so huge? He always sits in the back of the classroom, so I don't really see him up close. He like posted me up, backed me down, and dunked on me. It was bad. I was like, I wasn't trying. My shoes untied. It was crazy. I was like, whoa, this kid is huge. Yeah, being a middle school teacher, I'm like, okay, I shouldn't play basketball with the kids. That is where my skills are at right now. So, but
you're reaching an age, Carter, you're going to hurt yourself.
I know. It's honestly true. It's bad. Well, it's funny because we, you have the baby. I was on paternity leave, and it was at a good time because we had a lot of holiday breaks, so I was able to use sick leave and didn't actually have to use too many days. But you're just kind of with the baby all the time, not being super active. And then, now golf season's coming up for me coaching golf, and I pride myself on being able to beat the golf kids on the team at golf, which is tough because there's some good ones. So I was like, okay, I'm going to get up early. I have a little hitting mat and a net. I'm going to go hit on the net in the mornings. And, I started doing that this week. And the first day I was like, oh my gosh, I am like sweaty and like kind of sore from just swinging the golf club. This is really bad. So you guys are obviously a ways off of this, but anybody listening to the podcast, when you have a kid, do some activity to like do, because it was bad. I was like, oh my gosh, what is wrong with me? So yeah, the age and the kids catch, it just gets to you. I don't know how. This is another thing, how people have multiple kids. You guys are amazing. You have 3 kids. I'm like, I have the one, and I'm like, whoa, you're supposed to do this with have a bunch of these at the same time. And then they're like, get older and they drive around and do stuff like Grant. Like, oh my gosh, how do you do it? It just gets crazier all the time.
Does. And then you get to sleep, and then they become teenagers, and then you have to stay up till like 12:30 for curfews, and you don't get to sleep again. It's terrible
until they come home. Yeah, that's what it sounds like. Grant, how are you with the curfew? Are you pretty strict? You getting home on time?
I'm always home on time.
There we go. That's good. At home, getting on Fortnite, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's kind of continue on here, but a big thing that we talk about on the podcast a lot is just kind of being a small town. It's the hometown podcast. And I maybe want to go back and reminisce all of you guys. This would be really interesting to hear. Even Dad, I don't know if you're still even connected here. It kind of looked like it might have cut out. But Farrah, Grant, Lauren, Wade, what are some of your earliest memories of sports in Royal? And that can be like, maybe teams you played on as a kid, maybe going and watching games in Royal. What are kind of some of the earliest or best memories you have of playing?
So some of the best ones, like back when like Corbin was playing like in the old gym, it'd get pretty full. And I remember like they were pretty good, and that's like one of the favorite, like Owen Ellis pulling up from red line, and like the crowd would go crazy. Like that's probably like one of my favorite memories of watching.
Yeah. Huh, that's crazy. And I mean, a lot of people have that, but that was that when you were a kid, you're like, oh my gosh, these are the guys, this Owen and Corbin. That's awesome. Farrah, Grant, or Wade, Lauren, Dad, what do you guys, some of your earliest or best memories, reminiscing?
From playing or something you remember?
Anything, yeah. It could be playing.
I remember doing like little dribblers at halftime.
Oh, yeah.
Games.
Those are classic. So were you doing little dribblers? It's a big deal. These kids come out at halftime. So the little dribblers, people that don't know, they do it I think a few times during the year at the halftime of the high school games. They have the little kids come out and they play a game, and man, it's fun. The crowd gets into it and cheering. What was that like for you as a kid? Were you nervous? Were you excited to kind of go out in front of everybody? What's that like?
I don't really remember. I remember we did like between the legs, and we were just like doing fundamentals.
Oh,
and,
nice.
We really played.
Okay. Oh, that's true. I think Chloe kind of did something similar to that. You come out and kind of do sort of the skills, kind of show off kind of thing.
You have a memory? What is it?
Probably like this year when Royal beat Zilla, and the crowd was crazy.
That's your memory.
Yes, man.
That's awesome. Well, I love that memory. That's so cool, Wade, because you think about, I don't know, this isn't, and hopefully that's cool for Grant more than anything, of, you know, in 10 to 20 years, that's still going to be a cool memory that you guys share. It's like, oh, that was this year. It's like, man, that's a cool thing. Beat him for the first time in 28 years or something. Yeah. Crowd's nuts. Like, that's awesome. That's way cool. Yeah. Farrah, what about you?
Well, I think my earliest memory of playing sports was Val Iverson grabbed a group of girls. I was in between his girls, I think, in school. And he took us to Othello. We had like 2 practices and we played in a game and we got our butts kicked. And that was my first memory of basketball. That was probably 5th or 6th grade. And I don't really remember going to a lot of games like before I was in high school. So I don't really remember, you know, watching a bunch. I remember every year going to softball state, as all through the 80s when they were so good at slow pitch every year. Like that was a big deal. We'd go to the Tri-Cities. My mom would take us, we'd stay overnight and watch that was probably around your era, Larry, right? When they were so good at softball.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I think it was my high school, 84 through 88, right in there. I think all 4 years of my high school, they took state. Yeah, that was fun times.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's there's so many things like that. It's been fun for me. We talked about this yesterday a little bit because I went through and looked up. I was like, okay, I got to do my research. So I went back in this old kind of newspaper archive I found and looked up Farrah's years of playing, and we talked about you guys. You know, placed in state, the years we were in the B League, one of those years, and looking up your stats, and just the different things. And it's just fun reading those old newspapers and just, you know, just how intense everything was. And it's, you know, there's been so many games you think of in Royal, but there's something about the small town and just the family aspect of it, of now we're going on, you know, 3 to 4 generations of families that have played in Royal, and just how important it is to everybody. It's awesome. Dad, let's hear from you. What's your earliest memory of sports in Royal?
Wow, you know, when I was young, I just loved. I mean, my brother Brian, the oldest, he was 7 years older than me, and had, you know, 3 siblings in between. Mm-hmm. So I loved going to those high school games when I was that age. And I specifically remember one game where Brian was a senior, Steve was a junior, and Alan was a freshman. They all played together on varsity in one game. That's a special long ago memory for me.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah, cool. Well, thanks for sharing those things, guys. I appreciate it. I just like hearing people's experiences. I'd love to hear from Jake's not here, but doing the football history, I think he scored the winning touchdown in, I think, the semifinals in 94. There's a big, I think the front page of him going into the end zone in overtime. So definitely some sports heritage here in the family. This will be fun, though, here. Another question I kind of have for everybody. So we talked a little bit about, especially high school basketball, and then you guys especially with the whole family in AAU, practices, games all the time, 7 days a week, basically. What are some things you guys do, especially this time in this season, to relax or to blow off steam? Is there anything specific you guys do?
Maybe Grant can go first.
Like something that we do kind of like to just chill out. I would just say like kind of just hang out around the house. Maybe like, I don't know, it seems weird, but like maybe just like go to the gym and like shoot around. That's kind of like just chilling for us, I would say. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I don't know if it's like necessarily like maybe like doing something, but like we're kind of like all together and we like go shoot. That's just kind of like chilling, I would say.
Yeah, that's awesome.
How about you too?
Yeah,
I was gonna say tonight it was nice. We all were home and we actually sat down and had dinner together.
Yeah.
So I always think those are really nice times. Everybody was available and you sit around and you visit, and it's, I don't know, I think those things are great.
Yeah, it's definitely some kind of precious moments. That's kind of, I think for me, a lot of the reason behind wanting to do the podcast was just getting all my siblings back in one place talking. And obviously it's hard for them to all jump on every night. But I think, Grant, we were a lot like you, even in the middle of basketball season or football season, whatever it was, that was our thing. Like, oh, is the gym unlocked? Can we get in and shoot and throw the football around or whatever it might be? That's definitely what we thrived on. So,
and also like when they do the open gym and like all the college guys come back, that's also pretty fun too.
Yeah.
Like I remember, like I think it was a few weeks ago. It was during football, and like Owen, Corbin, like everyone was there. It was good runs too. Like they were all really good.
Yeah, that's the thing now. It's like, oh man, you get those guys coming through. It's the Hall of Fame of basketball just the past few years. When I was in high school, the college guys would come back, and none of them were even good. I was like, oh.
Well, I got to tell you, while you guys are on here, I remember that, Grant. Probably the specific night you're talking about, because we went down there and kind of watched because Corbin and Caleb were there. It's fun to go home and we get talking about who's done what, and to me, I'm like, okay, who's the best guy there? And on all of them, like, oh, Grant.
Yeah.
Funny how the sophomore kid's the best guy there.
Yeah, eating them up.
And it wasn't even hesitation. It was like, oh, Grant.
Yeah. So Grant, here's a question for you, and this is, you don't have to get into super detail if you want, but obviously, we've been able to, having watched in middle school and coached a little bit, now watching in high school, kind of seen this basketball journey. What are some of your goals in basketball kind of for the rest of high school and then kind of next level? Is that something you're thinking about? I know that's kind of a ways off and maybe you don't want to get too much into it, but what are kind of your goals?
So for high school, like I have some pretty big goals for high school. I obviously, like, one of my goals playing college. So like this summer is gonna be pretty big for me, like with like recruiting wise, and like hopefully I can pick up a few offers.
Yeah.
And for like high school, I would like playing with my team. I want to hit next year. I want to hit 1,000 points, and I'm pretty close as well. So yeah, those are, and like next level. Yeah, I want to play. Like the goal is Division 1, to play Division 1. If that's I think it's accomplished. Like I can accomplish it, and I think I'm pretty close, I would say, but I just got to keep working harder.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. How do you know? I've tried looking up. I can't see last year's stats, but I think, are you 400 something points this year? You got to be getting pretty close.
Yeah.
For
so
1,000.
This season I have 414 right now, and so I have 740 between freshman year and sophomore year.
Okay, nice. That's awesome. And then, so Farrah, were you a 1,000-point scorer in high school? I'd heard that, but I didn't know.
No, I'm just not quite there.
Just right there. Okay.
Close. I'm close.
I'd be interested. I don't know who all in Royal has done it. For the boys, I know Owen did, right? He had to have.
Yeah.
Didn't Ray?
I worked on this a couple years ago. We were trying to compile any boys stats.
Yeah.
I don't know if Larry remembers me talking to him about it, but
yeah,
Owen's the only one that we could confirm. And the only other stat we could come up with for the boys were 3 guys that had scored 40 points in a single game. And it was Gary Christensen, like in the 60s.
Yeah.
Justin DeLay and Ray Valet.
Okay. I didn't know about Gary.
And that is literally all. The boys' stats are like, there's not much.
Yeah. Just super hard to find.
For the girls, Bill Bush was the coach for years, and he kept amazing stats. And then Maria Leffler kept amazing stats. And so we worked on it quite a bit. And I don't know if anybody ever notices the record boards coming in and out of the gym, but we're only missing like 3 years, the years of Rich Gregoire. He was the only one that didn't provide any like score books or anything. So,
okay.
So for the girls, there's 4 females that have hit 1,000 points. Jill Swain, whom I don't know. I didn't really ever know who she was, but
she's a couple years older than me.
And then Shanoa Louie.
Oh yeah.
Karen Gilbert, who's now Karen Larson, and Karen Phillips, who I don't know what her married name is.
Yeah. Did she play around the same time as you? That's one name I thought I might have seen in the newspapers. Is that?
Yep, she was 1 year behind me.
Okay, yeah, nice. That's awesome. So this kind of the Royal sports history that I've gotten into in the past year of just from researching football, Wiley and I kind of digging into records. But man, I want to write a book or something, get all of it put together, because there's just so much of it there. And this last year in 2024, it was the 60th anniversary of the founding of the school. So it's just a lot of history has come together. But that's awesome. You guys have so many of the records from the girl stats. I had forgotten. I hadn't looked at those boards. I looked at them last year, I think, when you guys put them up. Mm-hmm. But having those stats for the girls basketball team is awesome. It's funny to go back there and look and just see all the people, and then being like, oh yeah, that's okay. Like Karen Gilbert, and I'm like, oh, that's Jackson Bryan's mom, and so yeah.
And it's cool for the girls because some of it, like, it makes them think about some of their goals. Like I know Audrey Bergeson is out there looking like, okay, she wants to, make this stat or that stat. And Mariah Wilhelm sees her sisters on there for shooting threes. And so she's thinking it would be pretty cool to beat them. So it makes them, I don't know, I think it makes them think about those things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely agree. Kind of having that just kind of on your mind is cool. And I think it's, I don't know, what am I trying to say? I think of I go to it's a religious thing of family history, the scripture where it talks about the hearts of the children. It's in Malachi, I think, and just that aspect of the family and your lineage and where you come from, and that sports being such a huge part of that. I think that's something that resonates with me. So that's awesome for the girls that they're able to see that. And I'd love to work with all the coaches in the school to do that for all the sports. It's fun to try and go and look back for like our golf stuff. James Dykes moving back. He's had a lot of information because he was on some of those good golf teams, and so it's awesome to kind of have these things. So I'm glad you guys have all that.
That's one question I wanted to ask, or at least talk about, because I can remember, as a kid, people asking me, "Oh, are you going to be as good as your brothers?" I'm curious, Wade and Lauren, do you guys? Obviously, Wade, he's right there. He knows his talents, but do you look at your older brother and think, "Man, I want to be as good as him. I'm gonna put in the time, put in the effort, so I can excel like that." Do you consciously think that?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. So what do you do to make that happen?
I usually go to the gym with him a lot, and we're doing a bunch of stuff to pushing us better, and playing a lot of basketball.
Yeah.
Lauren will be happy if her name's above mine on all the record boards.
Yeah.
That's the real goal. Let's just
goal.
say it, Lauren.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Well, that's kind of what they say. How's the saying go? Your dad's the only one that wants you to be better than him. That's probably the same for mom.
Yep.
Yeah, well, we're rooting for it. Nothing against Farrah, but that I want to see it. Yeah,
Lauren, I do too.
Get past all the records. So Grant, you talked a little bit about kind of summer stuff coming up. Are you on a new team this year for AAU stuff? How does that all work?
So this year for AAU, I play on an Under Armour circuit, so it's sponsored by Under Armour. And last year I played 15U, and this year they're gonna bump me up one, so I'll be playing 17U, so with incoming seniors. Okay. And it's gonna be a great opportunity for me. So they have a main gym where most of the scouts go. Davis Fogel, he's committed to Gonzaga, and he played on the same circuit. So that's where Gonzaga will go, and a bunch of college scouts will go. So I'll have a great opportunity to play in front of them for 2 years.
Nice. Okay, that's awesome. And what's the how many games are you playing during the summer for this kind of thing?
So during the summer, I always play with high school and with my team. So I think it'll be around 30, 35, maybe around that area.
Man, my camera just died. So, but you guys, can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. That's. I'll just unplug that.
So Farrah, what would you estimate? How many games would your family play in a season? Because when I talked to you guys, a couple weeks ago initially about doing this, Jake was like, "Oh, tomorrow we're going to, Lauren's playing in Shoreline and Wade's playing in Seattle." It's just
oh, that's a good question. We figured out at one point Well, Grant's probably playing in fewer now that he's a little older because he'll do high school and then 30 in the summer. So he'll play 55-ish, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And Lauren's probably around that 55, 68.
Wow.
And Wade's got to be more like in the 30s or 40s.
Yeah.
So 100 and some a year.
Wow.
Yeah. 130 to 150 a year.
Yeah.
Huh.
That is incredible.
Yeah. But that's
it's funny. Some of I remember when Carter was a senior, Chase was on, this is football. Chase was on JV and played on Monday night. Then Corbin was junior high. He would play on Tuesday night. Then, we'd get Wednesday and Thursday off. And then Carter would play Friday night. And then we'd go watch Grid Kids on Saturday. And to me, I can remember by the end of the season, Katie was like, I can't wait for this to be over. And I was just like, I could do this forever.
I know.
This is awesome. And man, to go to participate in 150 games plus you coach, boy, that is incredible.
Yeah, it's a lot, but it's fun. And like you said, like Grant kind of reaching the halfway point of high school. Everybody says, once they hit high school, it goes so fast, and that's for real. Like I feel it like it's just in fast forward with him.
Yeah. Huh. That is awesome.
So rewarding though.
It is. It really is.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Once you're away from it for a little bit, you're like, oh man, I miss that. I miss going to games all the time and being able, just that kind of thing. That is.
I don't know. I don't really have any hobbies. I don't really know what else I would do.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, that is your hobby. So Grant, how do you? I know. Myself, I was this way in high school. I think my kids to a certain degree, but you go through football and you're going 100 miles an hour, and then you go into basketball. So you've been going hard for 6-7 months.
Yeah.
Do you feel that? Does it kind of add up to, man, I'm getting tired?
No, I would say it's like kind of when you love what you're doing, like you don't really get like tired of it. Like this year for football, I was kind of on the edge of playing, but then like once I got like actually playing like in the games, I really liked playing. Like everyone on the team, like they're really nice. It was a great environment, and it was like really fun. So like and then I went from basketball, like obviously my favorite sport, and I never really thought about it. It's like I'm just doing what I love. Like it's really fun.
Yeah. Awesome. That's what it takes.
Yeah, when you can enjoy it and kind of find that, like you said, what do you do to blow off steam? Hey, go shoot, right? And so, while it can be a grind, if you can find the joy in it, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Kind of, as we get, I don't know how much time you guys have. We had talked your ears off yesterday and didn't get to record it, so we don't want to keep you too long. But one thing here that I like discussing with everybody, and it's good to have you guys all here. What's your game day routine like? And this is kind of a question for everybody. Is there certain things that you're like, hey, just mentally I have to do this certain thing on a game day, listen to a certain song, wear a certain thing, eat a certain food? Are there certain things you avoid? I remember my dad told me when I was a kid, don't cut your fingernails on the day of a basketball game.
That was me.
Which I figured out was stupid. I'm like, no, it's the opposite. You find these things out. What's it for you guys? What's a game day routine like for the family or for each of you individually?
So I would say like on a school day, I'm kind of locked in for the game, especially if it's a big one. So I'm not really paying attention too much in school.
We didn't come here to play school, right?
Yeah, we didn't come here to play school. So I would say during school, I just have like my music in, and like I don't like to get like before the game. I'll obviously like get like kind of like focused up, but like during school, I'm kind of like a little bit chiller and like kind of talking to everyone. It's not like I'm like in the hallway, like, no, don't talk to me.
Yeah.
But like, during the day I'm more chill. But then like during the girls' game, I'm usually just have my headphones in and trying to lock in as best as I can.
Yeah.
And then
the focus starts.
Like there's some certain stretches that I have to do. Like I would say like A skips, I have to do those before a game. It's kind of like, I don't know, like kind of a ritual, I'd say.
Mm-hmm. So if you're nervous before a game, is there anything? And this may have your dad may have asked us to ask you this. Does anything kind of happen amongst the family when you get nervous? before a game?
Yeah, he probably says I get fired up and like start to fight with everyone or something like that.
Fidgety.
Yeah, I just get fidgety.
Fidgets.
Yeah.
Like definitely before the Zilla game, I definitely woke up and I was like
Yeah.
chest bumping him or something. I don't know.
Squaring up with Dad.
Around the house all the time, and then he's like always like talking, and he's like talking weird, and then he's chest bumping us all, and like he never sits down.
He's wired. You got to thrive on that energy. I respect it. I like it.
Yeah.
Unrelated here. Do you guys? This was like a thing in our house. My mom always made fun of us, but I don't have my camera on, so you can't see me. But we would. It's always something. Either we're walking around and like pretend like going through our form of throwing the football or our jump shot or our golf swing. Is that happen in your house? Does Grant walk around and rehearse his jump shot?
I kind of do that a little bit. I like go around the house and like step back away from my mom and shoot it over her.
Oh yeah, we're the same way. I just wonder. I'm like, is that just our family? Like, are we just weird? But it's good to hear that it's not just us.
I appreciate getting chest bumped now by everyone multiple times.
Everybody does it.
Just because.
That's funny. I was going to say, Grant, that probably won't change even when you're in college, because Caleb comes home and does the same thing. Sits there throwing on air.
Yeah.
I'm going to come home from college and I'm going to just chest bump my dad all the time.
Yeah. That's right.
You know, the other day I came home, or I was back in the bedroom, and I heard all this noise in the living room, and Grant had been chest bumping Jake, and he took every ounce of old man energy he had, and they were wrestling in the living room. And I think Jake did a takedown.
There we go. Grant, your rebuttal, what happened?
So, I had to take it easy on him. I had a game. I was just fired up, and I didn't want to hurt him too bad.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you took it easy on him.
Yeah,
that was kind of you to do that.
That's dad's strength right there, buddy. That's what it is.
Oh yeah, Jake's like, I'm not ready for him to beat me just yet.
I don't know, Dad. I don't know when you when was it over for you fighting with us? We could gang up on you though. It was a bunch of us, 4 boys, pretty quick that we could.
It was different for every kid.
Yeah, a little different. We can talk about that another time. But Farrah, Lauren, wait, game day routines, anything for you guys that you're like, hey, game day, I have to do this. Like I have to listen to my certain song, or is there a lucky wristband, or I don't know. Like what are the things you guys do before games?
I probably if we're going somewhere far, I sleep in the car, and then once I wake up, I put on my headphones, start listening to music.
There we go.
Whenever we get 30 minutes away from the gym, I shut off my social media, and I always need to put my hair in a high ponytail.
There you go. Okay. Yes, yeah.
Mine varies. Okay, so everything I do is obviously things I wear, things I do are the difference between winning and losing, right? Whether it's my lucky shirt or some socks or whatever. So it's a process. But then when we lose, everything is eliminated and we try something new the next day.
Yeah. No, I know exactly what that's like. I don't know what it is, if it's something with coaching, because I wasn't like that when I was playing, but coaching wise, I'm laying out, my wife's making fun of me. I'm laying out my outfit the night before of what I'm going to wear. I'm like, all right, cool. I got everything laid out. We're going to be good. Just switches. I'm like, I don't like that hoodie anymore or whatever.
We had a really big win this year against Kashmir before Christmas. So we went and we beat Kashmir.
Yeah.
And I wore that same outfit after that because obviously that's why we won, right?
Yeah.
And then since then I've scrapped that outfit and trying new combinations. Haven't found the winning one yet.
Yeah, gotta find the magic one again. Yeah, I definitely know how that is. Oh man. Well, are you ready for tomorrow's game then? You have your combo for tomorrow?
We're ready.
Okay,
Yep.
that's
We're
good.
ready for tomorrow.
Awesome. I'm excited. We're looking forward to it, to being able to hopefully, for me, watching on NFHS, hopefully some people from Royal can make the trip down there to College Place. It's always a bit of a trek, but I am excited for you guys. I'm really pumped for districts. When do you guys know when those brackets come out, like when that gets released, the seating?
Cody said that athletic directors talk at 8 a.m. on Monday for boys and 9 a.m. on Monday for girls. So it should be shortly after that.
Okay, cool. So Monday we'll kind of know where everything's happening. That's exciting. Cool.
Then when do those games start, district?
Boys will play Tuesday, and boys will host.
Nice.
So, and then girls will play Thursday, and we'll be traveling somewhere, likely Wapato or Kashmir.
Okay, nice, cool. Yeah, and then this first, so I pulled up my thing here. So the first two games are at whoever the higher seed is, and then from there it moves to neutral site for the last kind of things. If I'm seeing that correct?
That's my understanding.
Okay. Do they know where those neutral site? Because I remember they did things at Toppenish. Now they're not in our league anymore. I'd guess probably Zilla or something. It always seems to be at their places.
I know. Well, I know the district championship games are supposed to be at Wenatchee High School.
Okay, that's good.
And then before that, I don't know if it's like the two teams have to find a neutral site, or I'm not exactly sure, honestly.
Okay, yeah, there's something there. You probably you got to worry about the team more than that. That's the athletic director job. Let them deal with that stuff. But awesome, cool. Well, guys, thank you so much again for jumping on here with us, for doing this twice. We are so grateful. It was just depression last night when we're like, we just recorded probably the best episode we've had, and it didn't record. So, but I will say tonight, thanks Wade and Lauren also for jumping on. This has been twice as good, and we really appreciate you guys coming on.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay, well, good luck tomorrow. Good luck in the district tournament. Get out there and support them. We'll be on next week, hopefully, with a new episode and a new guest. And that's the podcast for the week. We will see everybody next time.
See you guys.